of America, and they don't like most of the Trump because they are Americans. And De Niro, how stupid is he without a script? Isn't that amazing? I used to think that guy's brilliant, but once you take the words away from him, he is so stupid.
What about the garbage outside today? Robert De Niro, officially by the Biden campaign, makes him look like an idiot and reminds us why Trump is so popular.
It's so stupid. It was colossally stupid. If you're going to say
Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly, the most unlikely pair since peanut butter and pickles, just put Robert De Niro on tag team. It wasn't pretty, to put it mildly. Watch how De Niro handles it if you believed he could handle it. Like a soggy MAGA rally cannoli. This roast escalates into a 5-alarm meteor inferno, complete with Hollywood outbursts and cable television barbarism. Hold on tight. Compared to De Niro's last movie Office failure, this takedown is more compelling.
Impeachment will make America great again, and everybody's how intellectually deprived he is. He's a coke-addled simpleton, without a script. Hysterical.
Does he have a big coke problem?
No, I just read that article you sent me about the last nights of John Belushi, and how De Niro was there and just basically partied with Split, and it's just like now I just think of him as a really stupid.
Hollywood's renowned tough man, Robert De Niro. The guy who instantly made You Talking to Me a classic. Even the strongest gangster would be intimidated by the actor's ability to conjure a wicked scowl. He has more life experience than a New York City taxi driver, having starred in films that helped to define whole genres. However, this emblem began to change sometime between the cab driver and the 21st century. Not into a new persona or role, but something far more intriguing. A waning celebrity with a powerful political megaphone that is almost dead.
go speak outside of the Trump trial, make it someone who's universally beloved, like a Michelle Obama. She's not universally loved. She's not on the right. But I'm saying, like, at least within the left and the center left, and maybe even some center righties. Robert De Niro has gone so hard partisan over the past 8 years. He is like example one of Trump derangement syndrome. He's one of those on Movie Canada if he wins, and he's never going to leave the House if he wins. We're going to have Trump forever. I mean, hello, I hate to break it to you because I realize you're advanced age too, Robert. Will die. So he will leave. One way or the other.
The late-night sadist Gutfeld is ready to slash through the overgrown forest of Hollywood nostalgia because he has been honing his comic machete. When it comes to dismantling the once great, Gutfeld isn't one to hold back, particularly when their heyday seems more like reruns on TV. He views De Niro as a guy who is making a valiant effort to remain relevant. Like that partygoer who never stops talking about how he went to Woodstock once but no one asked. And to be honest, nobody gives a damn anymore. It's not simply a straightforward roast in Gutfeld's opinion.
Last night, an elderly, confused man missing in New York. Luckily, a band of self-satisfied elitists found him babbling on the street, threw some pants on him, gave him the stage.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say one thing. Trump.
De Niro's meticulously crafted identity is completely destroyed. Because De Niro was more than simply an actor once. He served as a metaphor, an emblem of unadulterated, unrefined grime. The ultimate anti-hero, capable of making silence more terrifying than a gunshot. However, he now resembles a teddy bear with a horrible haircut in terms of intimidatingness. And that is the main point of Gutfeld's insults. De Niro's political tirades come off as the meanderings of a guy whose best years ended about the same time that floppy disks were invented, rather than as impassioned declarations. But aging and waning fame aren't the only things that make people chuckle.
De Niro, congratulations, sir. Another Oscar for the iconic actor who, now appeared on Bill Maher over the weekend and had some words about Donald Trump.
The guy is a total monster. And anybody, I don't understand it. I guess they get behind that kind of logic.
That could be tough for an actor to play such a hateful man. Someone like, I don't know, like Bernie Madoff, say. A guy who stole $65 from nuns and Holocaust survivors like Elie Wiesel and was sentenced to 150.
By aggressively and often embarrassingly chiming in on every political debate as if he were the voice of a generation, Gutfeld deftly parodies De Niro's efforts to maintain his public profile. The generation that was the issue has long ago gone on. De Niro's remarks fall flat like a wrecking ball in a china shop rather than igniting debates. Gutfeld draws attention to this disconnect's humor. As the world cringes and watches, a former Hollywood giant turned Twitter fighter is throwing fists against unseen foes.
It kills me. Talk about perspective. Really, I was on the fence about Trump, but then I decided to really listen to one of the great generational leaders of American pop culture, and the clenched fist at the end, that really drove it home. It looked like he was pressing a 2-pound weight in a Jenny Craig commercial.
Oh my God.
Get it again. It's so cute. It's like if the restaurant serves Jell-O, or that he won a $10 scratch off, or he scored a cameo in Jersey Shore, or he had his first #2 in a week. Thank you, Fiberon. What a sad end for a great actor. He went from Raging Bull, to this.
Dairo's iconic tough guy performances, which were rooted in raw reality, now seem to be at odds with the polished, staged grandstanding he puts on. This is another example of the delicious irony. It seems as if the method actor decided that fury was the new acting technique after taking a break to binge-watch cable news. Gutfeld doesn't hold back when he makes jabs about how this contemporary Dairo is more concerned with making big statements than being nuanced, with gaining social media attention rather than giving performances that deserve an Oscar. It's humorous because, well, it's true.
A severe case of the TDS is in Conference right now, as all mucks are, and he's very unhappy of what Trump is doing to try to keep filmmaking, American filmmaking, in America by slapping tariffs on foreign-made films so that he can basically try to force people to make them domestically again for the American audience that they're meant to serve. And here's what De Niro said on Tuesday.
America's Philistine president has had himself appointed head of our premier cultural institution.
Megyn Kelly takes a new approach to the target, much as Gutfeld uses late-night comedy to rip apart the waning star's public image. Kelly, the seasoned news veteran, uses her knowledge as a scalpel to analyze the spectacle, while Gutfeld plays the role of a court jester. Kelly's critique focuses on Dairo as a celebrity activist whose political appearances are as phony as a poorly written screenplay, rather than merely as a washed-up star. Kelly's criticism is accurate and incisive. She presents Dairo as a guy attempting to make his way in a political environment that has evolved beyond celebrities yelling from the sidelines. She sees his advocacy as theatrical, consisting of a litany of social media tirades and picture shoots with little content or policy understanding.
You know, he's like a star whose girlfriend dumps him for a bigger star who's in the White House while you're in Dirty Grandpa. Oh, man. So now the resistance is reduced to applauding tantrums. Who knew De Niro's lasting role would be irrelevant gas bag, pleading irrelevant peers? And he's doing this as Trump organizes a summit. Not a war, a summit. And you got to wonder, if it were President Hillary, Bob's choice, would you actually have a summit or would you have a war? But forget deeds. What matters is adulation, received from an emotional display before a packed sea of millionaires. So who cares that Trump meets with North Korea? It's no meet the parent.
It seems as if Dairo thinks that yelling more loudly and angrily is a sign of political intelligence, a fallacy Kelly quickly dispels. Kelly demonstrates how Dairo's efforts to cross overt often fail due to their own theatrics, since the entertainment and political spheres are two very different platforms. She takes a cool, sharp, and harsh attitude. Kelly's criticism goes deeper than Gutfeld's sardonic quips, exposing a celebrity who seems more focused on the limelight than the problems. She examines how this discrepancy damages his reputation and the causes he professes to support. Kelly's viewpoint provides an intriguing look at how, in serious political conversation, celebrity culture may sometimes do more damage than good. Dairo's celebrity status does not equate to political clout. Rather, it often turns into a distraction, a noisy echo chamber that is empty.
He is alive and well amongst these sanctimonious leftists, from Kimmel to De Niro to Stephanopoulos. They want you to believe they're better than you, more virtuous, more decent. But we all know the truth. They lie. They sin. They do the very things they accuse you of and the things they say they would never do. Evil things, like try to destroy people based on feigned outrage from which they share their own side, or playing politics with a woman's.
Kelly's incisive, meticulous revelation of the shallow depths of Dairo's celebrity advocacy is complemented by Gutfeld's irreverent, sardonic dissection of his waning star power. They create a perfect storm when combined. a two-pronged takedown that targets Dairo's present public persona's image as well as its purpose. Their criticisms feed into a larger societal mistrust of celebrities who use their platforms to express political opinions without the requisite knowledge or depth. There is more than one actor involved. It concerns the phenomena of celebrities entering political spheres with little more than their notoriety and viewpoints. The audience starts to see Dairo as a relic torn between the harsh light of contemporary relevance and nostalgic grandeur, rather than as the unstoppable character from Taxi Driver or Goodfellas. The tale doesn't end there. A bigger question is also brought up by this media feud. In a society that is changing quickly, can a superstar like Dairo regain his prominence? Or is he doomed to be known more for his antics on social media than for his contributions to film? As Gutfeld and Kelly's criticisms reverberate across the media and public discourse, the solution becomes more apparent.
Robert De Niro's 29-year-old child, Aaron, has come out as transgender. When the press asked her for comment, she said, "You talking to they, them?"
They serve as a reminder to the public that notoriety is not a shield from criticism, particularly when it is used to sway political opinions. The titans of Hollywood are no longer untouchable. If they deviate too much from relevance or authenticity, every action they do can and will be scrutinized and deconstructed. For Dairo, this entails negotiating a challenging environment where each statement, tweet, and public appearance is scrutinized through a prism honed by individuals such as Kelly and Gutfeld. Together, they do more than just disparage Dairo's heritage. The guy who was once the pinnacle of gritty realism is subjected to a thorough forensic examination. With all the flair of a late-night monologue, Gutfeld's strategy is a humorous gut blow that has seen far too many Hollywood relics try a comeback tour. Using political fury as a corroded gun that consistently misfires, he portrays Dairo as a washed-up gangster trapped in repeats. Gutfeld's comedy is not intended to be nasty.
Nobody's talking to you anymore. Pathetic old man. All right. He was in, before I get to you, I think he was in Canada, Toronto, opening a restaurant or doing a thing. And this is what he had to say.
And I just want to make a note of apology for idiotic behavior of my president.
With nothing more than sentimentality and embarrassing Twitter storms, the once iconic figure now seems more like a joke than a force to be reckoned with as he struggles through the digital era. Kelly's criticism, however, is a thorough and deliberate analysis of celebrity advocacy gone awry. Kelly seeks to educate rather than amuse, revealing how Dairo's blaring performance politics are ineffective in a society that prefers subtlety and understanding to Twitter tirades. Her analysis seems to be a master lesson in distinguishing between self-indulgent brand management that passes as activism and true political action. The facade of celebrity gloss is ripped away by this two-pronged onslaught, which exposes a guy caught between his contemporary social media gaffes and his film legacy. This media feud has far-reaching consequences that go far beyond Dairo. Their criticisms capitalize on the public's increasing mistrust of celebrity political posturing, which has almost taken on a life of its own.
Down like your movies suck. That's not true.
No, his movies are very.
He's one of the greatest actors. I mean, he's the heir apparent, Rando, blah blah blah. But he's a loon.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to just what he is. He's, he has. It basically, I describe to people. You know what's happening now because people are aware about concussions, the problems with CTE. When you get hit and you get a dinger in football, they put you in the blue tent. And the sideline.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Democrats. They need to go in the blue tent for a little bit, kind of, get your eyes checked, and then come out and be wrapped.
Hollywood celebrities who use their status to carry the day and exchange thoughts for hashtags and parts for rally speeches are becoming more and more unpopular with audiences. And a doubt that lingers like a nasty odor after a forgotten takeaway hangs over the whole story. Is it possible for Dairo to regain his former prominence? Or is he destined to be remembered less for his cinematic masterpieces and more for his uncomfortable political posturing and digital tantrums?
De Niro graced the knitting circle in hell known as The View, where he tried to link random thoughts into a sentence. It was there to wind him up, since he's played some of the most unredeemed characters.
You have played some of the really unredeemable characters. Travis Bickle was a psychopathic tax writer. Jake LaMotta, who used to beat his wife, and he was in The Raging Bull, is worse than they are.
To me,
Greg Gutfeld's combined devastation was ultimately the result. One thing is evident when the dust settles on this unanticipated media clash. Even legends must change or face the hilarious wrath of astute minds like Gutfeld and Kelly in today's unrelenting media circus, notwithstanding Robert De Niro's iconic role in cinema history. De Niro's next move has to be as audacious and genuine as previous iconic roles, based on how these two ripped through his most recent performances. Otherwise, he runs the danger of being the subject of a late-night joke and a new segment analysis for years to come. Even though he is still in the limelight, the story has changed. The tough man no longer just fights made-up thugs. He is now engaged in a verbal sparring battle with the sassy tongues of contemporary media.